So what I'm making here is a bunch of these snowblower scraper blades. I've got two 6-foot lengths of 41-42 pre-hardened steel. I'm cutting them up into 2-foot lengths. They're just going to be saw cut on the ends just like these ones are. These are the original ones. These are for a vintage Bobcat snowblower machine. I got a customer that I've been working with on some other stuff who fixes these up and sells them, and she has, I think, 12 or 13 of them. So I'm making 6 blades for her so she can replace some of the old, worn, and rusted ones on the machines that she's fixing up. So now that I've got all my stock cut up, I went over to the disc sander and just cleaned up the ends and deburred it. These are the two original samples I was given. This is actually the original off of the Bobcat snowblower. This one here is a copy that she had made from somebody else, I don't know, years and years ago, who is no longer in business, I guess. So basically what I'm doing here is replicating this, but with 5/16 sock. These are 1/4 inch thick, but the problem is the original bolts are a certain length, which you can't get anymore. So we decided to go with 5/16. That way we can use stock bolts and still be able to bolt them up to the machine without having the thread sticking out the back. So basically it's going to look exactly like this, but this angle here is going to be further back because it's going to be thicker. So how I'm going to do this is I'm waiting for some aluminum to come in. I'm basically going to make a fixture, basically going to look like an L that the plate will sit in, and I'm just going to go along. I'm going to do 2 at a time, go along and drill and tap all the holes, and then I'll be able to bolt them from the underside with the fixture, and that way I can tip the head of the Bridgeport and mill this angle all in one shot. I should be able to get the whole thing with this end mill, but if not, I'll use the face mill. I might actually decide to use the face mill instead, because that way I don't destroy the end mill and I can just replace the inserts on the face mill if they get messed up. So that's what's next, just to make the fixture. So this is the setup for milling the snowblower blades. I have the blade bolted from the back side of the fixture, bumped up against the bumpers here, and then clamped down. Pretty simple and straightforward. I have the Bridgeport head tipped forward. I had to do some trig and figured out it was 34 degrees to match the angle of the original one. So I have it tipped forward 34 degrees. I had to pull the ram out a little bit to get my reach. I got the table pretty far back here. So it's going along great. I have one left to do. I'm getting a pretty good finish with the face mill, taking it all in one pass. I got a pile of giant blue chips here, and it's coming out great. I'll show you the finished product when I'm done. So these are the finished Bobcat snowblower scraper blades. I got 6 of them. Like I said before, they're 41-42 pre-hardened steel. Drilled and tapped for 1/4-20 holes. They were made slightly shorter than the original per request of the customer, so they have some wiggle room in case things don't line up exactly. They're about 3/32 shorter than the originals, and the holes are centered in the new ones. That way they have some wiggle room on both sides in case anything doesn't line up perfectly. And so now these will go off to the customer, and they can restore those Bobcat snowblowers and get them up and running. Thanks for watching.